Go. Welcome back, everyone. Most people think that AI replaces salespeople. Lenita thinks it's completely backwards. She started as a mechanical engineer at Procter& and Gamble, building systems, optimizing processes, eliminating waste, the good stuff. Then she made a move nobody expected. She walked away from engineering and went all in on the most human thing in business, selling. She's now built 3 university sales programs from scratch. Her research has been cited over 3,000 times. She co developed technology that trains student sellers across 30
Mhm.
universities. And here's the twist: the woman who literally teaches people how to connect face to face now says AI is the greatest connection multiplier we've ever seen. So I had to have her on our show. She says it's not a replacement, it's a multiplier, guys. So today we're going deep on something she calls the art of connection, how AI and humanity, they don't compete, they co-create. How the modern customer network isn't built by algorithms or by handshakes. It's built by both together, working together in a way we've never seen before. Welcome, Dr. Lenita Marie Davis.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and talk about this topic. So thank you for reaching out and having me on your show.
What broke inside the engineering and systems world for you so that you said, oh, no, 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 I need to study the humans here?
Well, I don't know if it broke or I broke, but I had a life-changing experience where I got hit by a drunk driver. And that really causes you to reassess your life. And I really focused on wanting to make a difference in this world. And nothing wrong with engineering, but what I discovered is the deepest desire of every human being is to be heard. And that I could really make a difference if I taught people about interpersonal skills. I could help small businesses grow. And just to give you perspective on how old I am, uh, I remember thinking this internet thing is going to be really huge if they ever learn to collect money on it. And everyone's, oh, no, no. People like to go into the stores and uh, talk to people, et cetera. And I said, yeah, but you can reach more humans with this internet than you can just in going to your local environment. So I got into sales. Um, and what I learned about sales is, well, what I knew about sales is it's more about giving, helping people, working to connect, communicate, and listening to people than it is about manipulation and getting your own way and closing deals. Closing deals is kind of like the start of a partnership, the opportunity to help someone else.
How is AI changing the game for you, for your way of selling right now?
Well, first of all, let's go first with training. So, using AI, I don't know if it's COVID, the new generation, the use of cell phones, social media, that kind of thing, which I use quite a bit. But people have gotten out of the practice of talking to a person face to face, right? They'll text rather than call them on the phone, right? Send you an email rather than go down to your office and talk. So the first thing we use AI for, at least in my program, is to let people practice for interactions with other people, right? You can make mistakes. You can practice as many hours as you want. The bot never gets tired. And I specifically use AI where people can't memorize. The tendency is there's some magic formula out there that will work with each person rather than being present and really listening to that person. So I particularly chose AI where the interaction changes each time. And there are also examples of what good looks like, but the good is unique to you. So I just kind of give you some guidelines. So that's where we start first. Then we progress to how can I learn more about individuals that I'm going to interact with before I meet them to kind of prepare myself to kind of figure out what's going to be important to them, but not to memorize and have a script. It's just to have that knowledge so that the conversation is productive for them, right? And you're not wasting people's time.
What do you look for when you research somebody in preparation? What do you look for?
Well, I look at where they are in the organization. I look at their personality, right? You can even find out people's personality. So people who like to get straight to the point, then I'm going to be straight to the point. There are other people who are like, oh, I want to get to know you, and they're more personable. So I take my time. I know then take my time on establishing rapport, really connect with them, and then we can do business. So to me, that's really important, right? Because if you use that same approach of, hey, how's it going? With someone who likes to get straight down to it, you've wasted their time and yours. So I look for that. I also look for who's important to them in the organization. So it's not just them, but who do they report to, right? And what that person looks for. I also do industry research. So what is their industry doing and how is their company fitting within that competitive industry? Are they struggling? Are they looking to grow? Are they looking to expand? And then I might check the news just so I'm a little current. What's the latest and the greatest going on for that company? And so these are all the things I look at. So when I meet with them, again, I'm not wasting their time and I can provide value. I look for ways I or the people that I'm training can provide value to that client before they even go in the door, rather than guessing.
You talk about co creation. Can you give us an example of how AI and humans co create in a given conversation?
Well, in a conversation, I mean, you can't pull AI from the conversation, but I use AI to prepare you for the conversation, as I just talked before. When we're reaching out to people, a lot of people like to go into ChatGPT or uh, all the different AIs. I won't name them all, Perplexity, Claude, etc. So Claude, how should I say this? How should I write this email? And there's lots of programs that do that. But you've got to read that email or whatever it is you're writing and put your own touch on top of that. Like I look at it as take my raw ideas, make them smooth, and then I read it again to put my own personality in it and to make it more personalized to that person. Um, Kind of doubled there, but yes. So that's how I use AI both to prepare for conversations virtually and in person.
Trust takes so much time to build. Can
Mhm.
AI accelerate that process?
Hmm. Good question. I think so. When I come into a conversation and I care about you and I've done my research and homework so I can provide you value, it makes it a lot easier to trust me, don't you think? Right? Because that person is listening. They did their time, they did their homework. They care enough about my time not to waste it. They're bringing value to me. That builds trust. But if you totally rely on AI and you really don't know what you're talking about, it can also destroy trust, right? So you can't just turn over everything to AI because, AI summarizes information. It doesn't glean out what's true and what's false, right? It's it summarizes information. And it's now getting to the point where, and we've had this happen a couple of times with our trainees, they just put something in AI, boom, spit it out. Well, the customer already has the same access to that information, right? Other sales reps have access to that information. So they are coming in with the same idea because they didn't take the time to one, understand what they're saying or what they're getting from AI, and then make it authentic or unique to themselves. AI is there to give you ideas, not be the idea. So that you take it as an idea and build upon it or change it before you go into a customer. So when you do that, that builds trust because that shows you took the time to understand that person and their needs and bring value rather than hit enter.
We were talking with the team at Google, and they said we buy now, the AI buys from AI vendors that send us AI driven offers, and we have an AI
Right.
that evaluates those offers and decides what to buy. So now we have AI buyers and AI sellers. Um, in if in 3 to 5 years this is our normal way of buying and of selling, what is our job as a salesperson then?
Yeah, I think if, I don't want to criticize Google, but I think if you go that way, you lose your competitive advantage. The other thing you have to look at is who owns the database that your AI is pulling from. Are you creating that database or are you buying that database from somebody else? Right. And so those two things, I think you'll always have salespeople. If I'm spending, and maybe Google does this, but if I'm spending millions of dollars, I don't want to buy from A. I want to know who that person is I'm buying that spending that $5 million with. So if something goes wrong, we're gonna have to renegotiate that deal, right? So I could be wrong, but I don't see how 3 to 5 millions, maybe Google's doing this, but Google also owns their own database of AI information that these bots pull from, right? And then you also have to think about hacking, that kind of thing. So I think it's a longer, more arduous process for people, for companies that want to keep their competitive advantage, right? And so I think there'll always be that human element.
And you are teaching Gen Z, people who are used to messaging, as you said, and now they need to talk to people. Uh, will we be more messaging, or do they need to learn actually calling someone?
Oh, they have to call. They have to call. I mean, again, when you have a big purchase that's important to your company, are you going to do that through text? And if you're an employee for a big company, are you going to risk your job just based on a text? Right? How many people have been ripped off, uh, had money stolen from them because they did everything digital and they never met that person face to face. So they're going to have to pick up a phone and they're going to have to learn to meet people face to face. And I make them do that in my class. Currently, right now in my advanced sales class, they're a little mad at me, a few of them,
Why?
but because I give them a quota at the beginning of the semester, and their grade depends on doing the touches and meeting that quota. So every week they have about, not a lot, about 30, 50 touches that they have to make. That includes phoning, emailing, connecting with people on LinkedIn, and they have a quota to meet. And so we have a sales process, et cetera. And they're like, well, what if we don't meet the quota? I said, well, do you need the class to graduate? And they're like, yes. I said, well, I guess you better get out there. I guess you better pick up a phone. And it's funny to see the process. They get very scared. Um, you almost have to force them to pick up the phone. And they all say once they make that first sale, it's like diving into a pool. They love it. They want to get more. And so as a result, I think over 90%, they don't believe it, but over 90% make the quota for an A. Last year they raised $80,000, but they had to in a 6 to 8 week time period. And so they have to go out and meet those people face to face, shake a hand. They have to make a phone call, get hung up on, have people ignore their phone calls, ignore their emails, that kind of stuff. Leave a voicemail,
I used to hate prospecting because it takes so much time. But
right?
now, since AI, I actually love it because all that research part takes no time and I
None.
get briefed. And so I only have the good part talking to people. And I'm an old guy. I like talking to people. And
Right,
uh,
right.
and and the boring part, researching, manual data entry, update of the CRM, documenting, that's all done by AI now.
I know, right? It's great, isn't it?
It's it's
Yeah,
making it
so
fun
no,
again.
it's fun. I like what you find out about people, right? Before you meet them. You find out some very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And so I do like the research part of prospecting. That's the best part. And I like how AI helps me. I don't know about you, but I agonize over my emails. Like, is the grammar right? To have the commas right, spelling right? And you have the stuff to you used to have the stuff to help you with the spelling, but the wording used to bother, because wording is so important. How are they going to take it? Da, da, da. Well, AI kind of cuts the time down in half, right? I'm not good at, you think as many years as I've been doing presentations, I would be good at putting together PowerPoints. I can put them together well, but my graphics are kind of, you know, not the best, right? But AI makes me look like a star. I put my stuff in there and it looks beautiful. It would took me hours to come up with that. And it's just like, boom, a minute. And that's why I say it helps. So now I could spend more of my time focused on how I'm going to communicate, how I'm going to connect versus I got to make it, the prettiness of it, the which is important, right? It's very important. It's that first impression. But now I can focus on connecting in that person versus the outer stuff. So I love it. Prospecting, a lot of fun. I love using Navigator and some other things because, I don't just teach this. Every summer, I go prospecting and cold calling to get corporate sponsors for my program. And so I'm out there dialing for dollars, just like I do for my students. We run a national sales competition and we recruit corporate people to come there and hire salespeople. And so I'm always out there dialing for dollars. The other thing that's good about it is reminding you to reconnect with people, right? Because you get so busy, right? You sometimes need that reminder, like, I don't want the only time people see me or talk to me is when I'm trying to sell them something. Right. So sometimes I just call, share information, just hang out, share some information, and AI frees me up to do that. So that's why I talk about, I mean, it's kind of your choice. The future is going to be not replicability, but scalability. How can I scale my human connection? Right. And a lot of our social networks help with that. I mean, I'm an old guy. Well, I'm gonna say old guy. I'm an old gal. I shouldn't call myself that. I'm seasoned, right? And it used to be you connect with one person, maybe they know a few hundred people, right? But now with LinkedIn, I mean, I got over 5,000 connections, right? So you connect with people, you're tapping into a huge network. And understanding that before you connect, very important, both when you interact and before you reach out to them. So I love it. I think it has exciting opportunities for all of us.
What surprised you recently, or what did you change your mind about?
Ooh, with regards to sales
Hmm.
or just AI? Oh, referrals. That's something new I'm looking into. How AI helps with referrals, how to get referrals. I've been doing some research lately. The systems and processes we use, in a polite way, I'll say, could use some improvement. And I found most salespeople don't ask for referrals. We also don't talk about how to do research so that when we ask for referrals, we make it easy for the person. So, for example, one thing I'm looking at and testing at is like, if I connect with you, Simon, I go, so Simon, I was looking through your profile or I was looking and I saw you're connected with Clint. I mean, you know, what do you know about Clint? I still haven't figured it out together, but it's kind of like, could you help me introduce me to Clint, right? And get that human introduction into other people's networks. I experimented with a little bit this summer where someone connected me with the sales rep and I connected with that sales rep to told him the value I thought I could bring his company. And he did an introduction for me to human resources person. And in that way, then I recruited that corporate partner to come to our sales event. And I thought, this might be a way to get more referrals and formalize that system. So that is something I'm going to be doing some research on and publishing on here in the very near future.
Some trainers say when you prospect and you land nowhere, and with asking, okay, who needs this actually? You don't need it, fine, but do you know somebody who needs this? So that would be the
Right.
first chance to ask for a referral. Does it actually work? Because they don't know us.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't really know us. I would say, um, first of all, if you pick someone and there's no value, I mean, you have to wonder about your prospecting system, right? Because you don't want to be in front of people who you're not bringing value to because you just wasted their time, right? And if you present it to them and you've wasted their time, now you're asking them, so do you know someone who would value this, right? So my question becomes, so have you really heard that person? Have you really helped that person? That might not be the time. So, I mean, I would kind of take it a two-step process. Like, how can I help you? So this didn't help you, or I would look for other opportunities to help them. And then in helping them, then look, build the relationship a little bit more first. Um, and then ask for that. That's why I say they need to be more updated. The other thing is, I like to keep it simple for the people I interact with, right? So by presenting them a name, so another way to do it is, so, okay, well, the timing's not right for you with this product, and the value's not there for you currently. So happy to come back when it is. But I was also noticing that your connection, Charlie Smith, is struggling in this area. And I think I could help him. Would you mind doing a virtual introduction for me or a formal introduction for me to Charlie Smith? It makes it very easy for the person because they don't have to think of the person, right? You've laid out what you want and why they should be emailing you. It's very simple for them. I've made it easy for them.
You just gave me an idea to integrate into one of my Claude skills one person that they are connected with that fits my ICP so that I have already somebody to ask. That's genius. And
Mhm.
I am wondering, when we call somebody that we had no experience with first, we do our research well, but it's a very short call. How to quickly generate value in that conversation?
Oh, that's easy. So what I tell my students, we have now they're they raise money for a nonprofit. So the assignment I told you about earlier is for a nonprofit. So what you do is you talk about first, you introduce yourself and you say, look, I came across this thing. I think it has value for your business in this way. Like I think it'll help you increase sales. I think it'll build your brand, whatever it is, right? And value in this way. I just want to meet with you for 15 minutes. I know this is not a good time, but is there some time where you have just 15 minutes to talk to me? And if they don't have 15 minutes, they're probably not your people anyway, right? But you sell the value of meeting with you for 15 minutes. And then in that 15 minutes, then you take it to the next level. But I also tell them you don't sell on that phone call. You don't sell in an email. You don't sell in a voicemail. You sell the 15 minutes and the value of meeting with you for 15 minutes. And most people feel bad saying they won't be with you for 15 minutes. Right? Would you agree?
It's 50-50. Since I talk mostly to CEOs and they are more kind of, the red
Oh,
people
yes.
in the
They're
disc,
15 minutes anyway.
50 day for them 50 minutes is forever. But and
Okay, we're
I'm a
not
red
calling
guy too.
CEO. Yeah.
But if I
Okay,
call,
CEO's different.
yeah, yeah. But it's different if I have to call. HR has more time sometimes, or
Right,
IT has more time.
right. CEOs, you get five.
Yeah, if who are you? Why are you calling me? How do I know you? You're wasting my time.
Yes.
You're wasting my time.
Oh, Lord. Do you talk to them directly to get time?
Yes,
Okay.
we go directly. And
Okay.
sometimes you have to get a time via their assistants, via the gatekeepers.
Right. Right. I really work the gatekeepers really hard to get on their calendar.
How do you do that? Yeah.
I become friends with them because you're going to talk to them a lot, right? And if you call a lot, they're like, is this Lanita again? Yeah, Carol, it's me again. How are you doing? Because most people don't want to talk to them, right? How's it going, Carol? He's really busy, isn't he? Yeah, he's in Europe. Wow, where is he in Europe? I mean, not to be nosy, but oh, Austria. Okay. Do you ever get to go with him? I always make it about them, right? Do you ever get to go with him? So there was one senior executive I was trying to get to. I got his gatekeeper. I called for like a year. She was,
A
and
year.
finally, and she was like, it was crazy. I knew what school she went to, I knew about her kids, da da da. And she finally convinced him to take a meeting with me. And that was I don't want to say, but let's say 15 years, maybe 15, 20 years ago. He's still in my sales, he's still in my phone book. I'm in his, I could call him now. And then that senior VP brought the CEO to my school, and we built a huge relationship at that school, one that still continues to this day. So it was worth the year investment. And the only reason I got the call, he's like, okay, I talked to my secretary, and she said I had to talk to you. And I said, really? And then I got into the value that I could bring. And he's like, well, we've never been to your school. We never did. And I was like, well, then you're missing out because this is the value we can bring your organization. And before I knew it, he and the CEO were flying down to my school to check us out.
I like
I
that.
was like, who's this crazy lady who calls us for a year? One executive, um, I told him, you know what? You might as well say yes, because I'm not gonna stop. But I did it in a nice way. I got to know all the gatekeepers. I talked about them because, right, the biggest human need is to be heard, to be listened to be acknowledged, right? So I did it with the gatekeepers. I don't know if that helps anyone, but
Absolutely. This is
they
the
have great
practical
influence.
stuff that helps. We had a guest here last week in Australia, and he landed a deal with Jerry Seinfeld's manager after more than a year of calling him. And then he said, okay, I just gave up. I figured you will never stop calling me. So, okay, you got my attention.
I'm that person. And I don't do it in an annoying way because, people are afraid of that. But I really listen to them. I'll talk to the gatekeepers. I'll talk to anybody. So how are you doing? And I really care. I'm not doing it. That's the other thing. People can tell when you're doing it to be fake or when you really are interested in them. And I really am interested in them, what's going on with them and what their life might be like. And they see that. And so that gets perpetuated on up the ladder.
And this is what I want to ask you. We start when we prepare, we are actually caring about bringing something of value. It's an act of service that we call them.
Correct.
Now, after three, four calls, that thing maybe shifts and we feel like, oh, we are interrupting people and we feel like we are bringing something negative. So to me, after three, four calls, I don't feel like I'm in service anymore. The mindset shifts. How can we recalibrate to, hey, I'm here to serve, to bring value?
Hmm. Well, I would say this. How much noise do we get in the system? I get thousands of emails a day, and you know, I'm not even running a big corporation, right? Not to mention the scam calls, the voicemail, etc. I appreciate people who, and I might really want to do business with you, but I've got like 10 other priorities going on. And I really appreciate people who hang in there. Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here. Let me make it easy for you. I have this now. I have that now. No, you're busy. No, things happen, but I'm still here. I'm still here. And so I look at it as still a service, right? Because you got a lot of stuff going on. And I'm just here to let you know when you got a moment, I'll make it easy for you. I'm over here and I can make your life easier, right? But if you go away three or four, you're just back down to the noise. And I appreciate people, and I think some execs do who hang through. It also shows resilience, right? Of resilience. But you hang in, I'm making it easy for you. I'm here. So you got to look as you're going to fight through the noise to bring them something that's going to help them, right? If you feel like you have something where you're on the rescue to help someone, you don't care. I call you, like let's say you had a life-saving drug, right? You, hey, I'm knocking because I'm about to save your life. I'm knocking because I'm about to really change things for you. And if you have that kind of passion about what you're doing, you don't care. It's like, man, I'm here to help you. Okay, you don't see it yet. Okay, you're busy. But you wouldn't be as busy if you had this. Okay, so I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. And they say most salespeople quit after 3 or 4 calls. The more calls you make, the higher the percentage you're going to get the opportunity to help them, i.e. close.
And how do you help your students if they experience that 3 4 calls and then let me do something else, let me quit here?
I don't let them quit. It affects your grade. Right? Because motivation is internal, right? I can sing a happy song, but you have to be inside of you. You have to decide to do it, right? And hopefully your grade at a young, I mean, that's the best to life. Hoping your grade will click something off in you to motivate you to do it, right? Because I've got 40, 50 students. I don't have like um, vacation plans or a bell to ring or anything that would work. So, my tools are limited, but I do have a president's club that I do and some other things. But I make it a requirement to have like a 16-step process. They have to enter it in a CRM. So part of their grade is how many touches, but I also limit how many prospects they can put in the system. And then I look at, all right, if you have five, whoever you put at the beginning, you should have had 16 touches with that person by now, and you can stop calling them. That's the limit, like 16, and now you're done. Right. So get to 16.
And if your students are then also the next buyers, so in a few years, that's the
Mhm.
generation that will be buying on the other side, and they like it online and they like text rather than talking. How will sales look like in the future?
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, once this generation's interesting. Once they are out there, that's what they prefer, right? They like to get in front of people. As a matter of fact, when I give the assignment, they'll start calling at first, but many just, all right, you know what? I'm going to go downtown and I'm just going to start seeing people in person. And they really like it. We also bring in corporate executives into the classroom every week, right? To give them, and they see, oh, wow, they're normal people. I can just talk to them like normal people. So they end up liking talking to people, seeing a face. Even when they meet, it works to my disadvantage because even when they want to meet with me about different topics, uh, they don't want to do a Zoom anymore. They're like, I really want to come and see you, Dr. Davis. I'm like, okay, I'll be in the office, that kind of thing. So I think in the future, I mean, again, people can efficiency, yes, you're right. Digital's great. But the deepest desire of every human being is to be heard, to be seen. And that's difficult to do digitally. That's
It's
difficult to make that connection. We all want to
it's
be connected in some way.
yes, it's hard in a message. And
Mhm.
I'm experiencing more and more when people say, "Hey Simon, we're interested." I say, "Sure, pick a time to talk." And they say, "No, no, no, message me. Make me a Loom video." And I say, "I don't do Loom videos." Let's talk. But
Right.
there is a
I don't
but there is a
know.
gap.
You miss that human connection.
Hmm.
I'm like, here's my Calendly. Let's set up 15 minutes.
Hmm.
I'm sure you have 15 minutes. Come on, 15 minutes. We'll have digital cup of coffee. I'll send you a Starbucks link. Everybody's got 15 minutes. Come on. Because you don't want to just send a video. You don't want to just send an email. That lacks it. No, that's a waste of your time, right? Because I'm sure you're selling very high level stuff, right? You're not selling a candy bar. So
And in this example, that was on X, and it's a very famous person, high profile person, and they were inquiring about the sales solution. right?
Mhm.
And so of course I wanna deliver value. But then when they say just send me a Loom video, I literally wrote, I don't send Loom videos. I meet.
Right.
Because you don't know the solution, right? How can you
No,
bring a solution if you don't know the problem, don't know the context, don't know where they are, where they want to be? What kind of Loom video is they gonna be?
none. Because they're missing out on the value, right? You can't really assess the value. You're not buying a pen or a piece of paper where you can just read the description. This is a customized solution. I can't No, you're not appreciating the value that this can bring to your organization. Let me tell you how you can, optimize the value of this solution and the money you spend. Give me 15 minutes.
And I guess this is what AI can multiply too. It can multiply the speed and the volume of conversations, but then it's kind of shooting in the dark, right? I'm trying to tell you something, but I don't know exactly if that's you, and I don't know exactly if it's the right message versus really multiplying that connection and we come together, we co-create.
That's right. That's right. I mean, yeah, I and it's a weakened strength, right? I mean, it's a weakened connection. It's not really a connection. You're just tossing out information. Right? And it's not even directed towards that person. Yeah, that's what I tell my students. Don't email out brochures. Don't email out, no, sell the 15-minute meeting, sell that human connection. And that's where they're going to get the value. And don't just stick to what's on the paper. That's another thing we talk about. Yes, you're selling sponsorships to a golf tournament, but talk about the value it can bring to them. So, like I got to do some follow-up with a company that to do a title sponsorship. And they're like, well, how many of our customers are out there? And so I explained to them how many of their customers are out there. I said, but I tell you what, if you're title sponsor, you get these many golfers, right? And I'm not going to put you on all on one team, right? Because I'm going to put each one of your sales reps on a different team, on a team that's comprised of people who could be potential customers. And if your salespeople can't close a deal or get some meetings after spending 4 hours with them, I don't know. Maybe I need to come and give you some training, right? But it was a creative way rather than just selling the sponsorship and then let them figure it out or let me help you optimize how you use this product or service. And you can't do that through email. It's got to be a conversation.
What are you excited about looking forward?
Oh, this thing about authenticity and doing referrals. I think those are two fertile grounds. I mean, we're all focused with AI and the internet and how to get volume, right? But this whole idea of linking with other people's networks and getting referrals. I mean, you could basically create your own, and you've done this, create a little community, right? And within that community, you can create value for each other. And then you get what I like are evangelists, right? So I'm actually an evangelist for some of the products that consume, right? I go out and tell other people, and then I bring people to those companies and say, hey, this worked for me. Hey, give them a demo. Hey, show them this, show them that, right? And so that's what I'm excited about, getting referrals, creating communities, and then how to create those evangelists for your product or service.
The power of community is strong. In sales, prospecting can be so lonely, but you have found a way to make it communal, right?
Right,
It's a class, it's not one person, it's a class. And then you kind of gamify it. There is this challenge, and then they have to report. So there is kind of a leaderboard. You see what the others are doing. So you found a way to make it communal, which
right.
probably is more human nature than just hunting alone, right?
It is. It is. Yeah, you get the idea of someone sitting there with a phone alone in front of a computer, right? That's the picture. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? It could be, I would say go to a networking session, go to a chamber of commerce. You have a community right there, right? So there's opportunities to prospect or share stories together about prospecting and lead each other to different prospects and things. So, yeah, bring it on in, right? And even within your organization, make it fun, right?
How
How
did,
many you got? I mean, we do the same with sales, right? How many you got? Who's got the
yes,
most?
I'm
Who's got the
curious.
most touches this week?
Yes. And you wrote a book. How did writing that book change you?
I really enjoyed writing the book because, I do a lot in theory building, right? And the last part of any academic paper is how this applies to business, right? But when you write a book, the whole thing is how can you take all your theories and what you think and directly apply it to business and help and develop strategies, right? And then how to even teach that to people so they can grasp it and apply it. So it was a lot more freeing. It was a lot more freeing. And what I learned was let me see, what did I learn? There's a lot of strong ties to the old ways of doing things. We still do spin a lot. Uh, uh, and there's these things, while they're good foundationally, there's a lot of opportunity to grow, to develop new types of strategies, new ways of selling, new ways of prospecting, cold calling, and even getting referrals. So it was exciting that way. It was also, there's a need, the more I interact with students, and this is going to be a future book, around embracing your difference, being authentic, and not being more so worried about being judged, right? This generation is like, don't judge me. And I understand because social media and what you put out in the digisphere, but there's also an advantage leveraging your uniqueness. There's also advantage to that in sales, right? And I know we get into branding, but that sounds kind of packaged and contrived. What I'm talking about is being your authentic self, embracing your uniqueness, and leveraging that to build more human connections, right? And to be of service to more people.
No, maybe we have to learn to be judged and to take ourselves a little bit less seriously as a salesperson and to play with it. Yeah, I have three kids. They judge me all the time. One of them says Papa is stupid. The other one says Papa is old. The other one says Papa is fat. And I say, okay, I play with it. They
Right,
say,
I do too.
yeah, what else? What else can you do, right?
Right. Don't take yourself so seriously. It's fun. And so what, these strangers judge you? They don't know you. They don't know you. So why do you let it count for anything? And I tell them, especially in your 20s, that's your time to take risk, right? You're in your
Mm-hmm.
20s. You won't even know these people 10, 15 years from now, right? So be you. It takes a lot less energy to be yourself. Now, always improve, be self, be looking to improve yourself. I make them read 7 habits. So you're always looking to improve yourself, be self-aware. But I find if you are there to help somebody and you have the mindset of being of service to someone, there's very little judgment. There's more help than there is judgment, right? There's more connection than there is judgment. So I was like, check your mindset. What's also good, going back to your other point, is what I tell my students is if you're there to help someone and if that's your motivation, people become a lot less self-conscious, a lot less nervous, right? Because the focus is on the person and how I can help them versus me and how I look and how I can impress you. I'm more focused on helping you, and people respond in that way. So I tell them, if you're ever nervous or scared to pick up the phone, who are you thinking about, you or the other person?
Mm. Oh, that's a great point.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was Dr. Lenita Marie Davis. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'll be launching my company this week called nexora.com. And my email is drlanita@gmail.com. And I look forward to people reaching out to me and commenting or just wanting to connect. I like to connect. So reach out, let's connect. I have whatever, a link where you can make an appointment with me on Calendly. The same way you reached out, right? If you send me a message, I respond.
Thank you so much for being on the show and keep rolling.
I will. You keep rolling too.